agencies. We offer targeted advertising solutions that drive results. Amplify your message. Reach the heart of the Bronx and beyond. Our platform connects you to the community. Learn more. Email info@bronxpost.com or call 718-892-5555. Visit www.bronxpost.com for breaking news and updates. Bronx Post. Changing the reality. Changing the narrative.
Welcome to Talking Politics. There were people who thought I retired. I just took a extended vacation, and I'm back. As you know, I am a reporter for the Bronx Post and the Parkchester Times. As both like this show, a part of Parrot Media Corporation. I also contribute to the Co-op City News. I have a blog at www.100%.blogspot.com and Facebook pages 100% and what is going on with your local community board. And now there's a new Facebook page, Talking Politics. The views expressed on the show are that of the host, any guest, anyone commenting at the bottom of the screen, and not necessarily that of Parrot Media Corporation. On to a weather report. Today, Friday, we began the day at 8 degrees, and today's high is not expected to get higher than 20 degrees. As we enter day 7 of this deep freeze, which is expected to last till about Wednesday, actually Monday, when it gets above freezing. Saturday, the high is expected to get no higher than 22, while Sunday, for the Indian Village Alliance and Morris Park Community Association Penny Social, the high outside will be 25, but much hotter inside. St. Clair of Assasi Lower Church, located at 1027 Rhinelander Avenue, between Hone and Paulding Avenue, the side entrance, and the doors open up at 2:30 p.m. for the Penny Social. On Monday, the high gets above freezing, barely at 33, but goes back down into the 20s at night. Now, my guest today is Miss Rochelle Mandina, who is the co-president of the Women's Republican Club of the Bronx. And can we bring on Rochelle, Mr. Producer? Because there was a meeting last night of the Women's Republican Club that she is the co-president of. Rochelle, are you here? And I want to find out how that meeting went. Can we bring Rochelle on, Mr. Producer? There's also, we're going to be discussing the Bronx Times article, which said that one of the three ladies, or two other ladies that Miss Mandina was here with at Jacoby Hospital, gave the middle finger to public advocate Jumaane Williams, which all three ladies say no one gave him anything. And I even have a picture of Miss Mandina pointing the second finger to Jumaane Williams, which obviously someone has mistaken for the middle finger. Because, and I'll read from the Bronx Times right now, since my guest is in the back room hiding or being hidden. Despite the long applause and enthusiasm surrounding Mandini's announcement, a few hecklers expressed their disappointment after press questions were addressed. And I had a question to the mayor about having additional buildings, since Dr. Katz, who is the head of the Health and Hospitals Corporation, said, we have land and we can build on it. We can put a parking garage and we have plenty of land to build housing. So my question was, is there going to be a second or a third building built like was planned, we heard in the beginning? And the answer was from Dr. Katz, well, we have a mayor who wants housing and we have the land. But to continue with what the Bronx Times says, as the event ended, a woman standing off to the side said loudly that neighborhood property values would go down because of Just Home. What about us? We worked our asses off to buy our homes. Public advocate Jumaane Williams, apparent, approached a group of 3 women, but one called Williams a liar and flipped the middle finger as the group left. Now, as I said, you can see the picture here that the second finger is being pointed at Jumaane Williams. So I guess when you leave or you turn around, people will think it's the middle finger. And we have a Facebook posting by neighborhood wannabe Diana Finch to Irene Estrada, who ran for mayor in the last election on the Conservative Party line. And as long as those opposed to Just Home continue to act like this article documents, giving Jumaane Williams the finger because they don't like what he says, you are going to have a real challenge in your fight. Now, I wonder if it was Miss Finch who said to the Bronx Times reporter, "Oh, look, she's pointing the middle finger at Jumaane Williams." Now, I've asked all 3 women, and if we can bring Rochelle on, there's no finger, Kevin. There's no finger there's no photo with the middle finger. It's this way, Kevin. If you turn your hand, there we go, Rochelle. How are you?
How are you?
Obviously, I'm talking about the Bronx Times article first.
Okay.
And I'm showing that, when you point your second finger and you turn, it looks like your middle finger almost, as you can see here by my demonstration.
Right.
And Kevin Diola is waiting for the picture of the middle finger. Now, I spoke to you and I spoke to the other 2 women, and the answer was?
There was no middle finger ever stuck at Jumaane Williams. Somebody lied, and I am in contact with the Bronx Times because I told them they need to correct that. That's a lie told about me. I never said anything disrespectful to him, and I never what they said. I said that he was a liar. I never said that to him, and I never put my finger up to him. People are always on the attack, trying to make things up to try to make us look bad. It's a constant barrage of attacks.
Now, you also so has the Bronx Times done anything for you? Have they printed a retraction? I know that this picture was the online, and it's still up there from when I checked last. But
yeah, well, they haven't done anything. I called back earlier today, and they said they would get back to me. So far, I haven't gotten anything, any kind of positive answer from them or retraction or anything.
Well, their paper should be coming out. They go to press on Thursday. So if there was a retraction, it should have been printed this week, coming. And I get the Bronx Times, so I'll probably get it Monday because we're late on the mail. Now, you're the co-president of the Women's Republican Club of the Bronx, and you had a meeting last night of the club. And tell us what happened. I see from pictures it seems well attended. I'm very sorry I couldn't make it. My car is snowed in. I'm going out after the show to clear it out if I can. But tell us about the meeting last night.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We were a little concerned due to the weather. There were a few people that were unable to make it because of that, or they're concerned about parking. But it was well attended. We had our Irene Guanil, she's running for Assembly District 82 speaking, and Sherry Olivo, who's running for Assembly District 86. And then we had a special treat. I'm sure you know that Michael Henry has dropped out of the Attorney General race, and now we have a wonderful lady named Saritha Kamatareddy, and she was fantastic. Very intelligent woman with great ideas, and I hope everybody gets to hear her speak because she really nailed it. And she would make a great attorney general to fix all the issues that we have in that department in this state.
Now, in case people don't know, the 86th Assembly District is the west side of the Bronx, below Fordham Road, going down in towards Yankee Stadium. And the 82nd Assembly District is the Throgs Neck area going up into Co-op City. And one thing the incumbent, Michael Benedetto, is going to have a problem with is he alienated parkland so a casino, hotel, and parking garage could be built. And did she say anything on that?
No, I think it was more about an introduction to who she was and what her goals were. And she took a few questions from the audience that did not come up yet, but that's just the first of, we will have her back and discuss more in detail.
And what is in the future of the Women's Republican Club? What can we see coming up?
I think we're going to focus this year mostly on the candidates that are running. We need to fight hard to gain any traction. So I think that's going to be the main goal, and we'll always try and include some community service-minded issues. Yeah.
Now, I put a plug in for the Penny Social that Sunday. Would you like to say a little more about it?
Yeah, it's very well attended. This year we have double the amount of people coming, and it's a fundraiser for the fight that we have against Jacoby Hospital, Rikers Island 1900 project. We have filed a lawsuit against the city due to improper actions they have taken in regards to, their progress of it. So anything we make goes to our legal fund. And
where it's being held at a new location. It used to be held at the Morris Park Community Association, which can only hold about 150 people. So where is this being held Sunday?
It's going to be at St. Clair Assisi on Rhinelander Avenue in the lower church. There's a much bigger space available, so we were able to, fit more people, and it's a fun event, very fun.
Okay. Well, I'm about ready to go to my commercial break here. I want to thank Rochelle for coming on. I hope I know you had a big disappointment this past year with Councilwoman Christy Marmorato, who lost the election in November. That was probably due to the two big Democrats that were running. You had our current mayor, Madami, who brought out a lot of people, and you had Andrew Cuomo running. So you had two big Democratic people running for mayor, and in a 5-to-1 Democratic area, it just wasn't right, with all the Democrats that were brought out to vote for either Mandami or Cuomo, that unfortunately this area, the 13th Council District, lost a very good person, a very good councilwoman, Christy Marmorato, who was very much into the community. I will say that Shirley Aldebal, the new councilwoman, has finally settled into the office that she has. She's going to have to fix a broken window, unfortunately. Some people say that a rock was thrown through it. My belief is that when they changed the awning on the name and the awning, that the ladder went through the window. So that's my feeling. If it was a rock, I'm sure the police would have said something.
Exactly.
And Kevin, any other final words, Kevin, before we go to break? Otherwise, I want to thank Rochelle for coming on. Oh, here we go. Or maybe the incumbent legislation. Kevin, yeah. I do want to say one thing, though, that our streets have not really been cleaned. Only Morris Park Avenue, we saw yesterday pictures of Morris Park Avenue being cleaned. And why would Morris Park Avenue be cleaned? It has a bike lane on it. And this morning, Mayor Mandami sent out a press release that streets are going to be cleaned, and he mentioned bike lanes. and the city has bought special trucks that'll clean bike lanes because they're smaller trucks with smaller plows, which one turned over yesterday. Well, Kevin, we'll have to find out from the councilwoman. She's going to be the one who knows. And I'm sure if it was a rock, it would have been said already. Okay, so let me thank Rochelle for coming on. And let's go to a break right now, Mr. Producer.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rochelle. You're great to have you.
Thank you.
Imagine a media platform that reshapes the conversation, empowers your voice, and redefines the Bronx community. Bronx Post, changing the reality, changing the narrative. For businesses, politicians, and government agencies, we offer targeted advertising solutions that drive results. Amplify your message. Reach the heart of the Bronx and beyond. Our platform connects you to the community. Learn more. Email info@bronxpost.com or call 718-892-5555. Visit www.bronxpost.com for breaking news and updates. Bronx Post, changing the reality, changing the narrative.
Welcome back to Talking Politics. If you saw our promo, Anthony Rivieccio is in the promo. He will be joining me at the end of the month as a co-host. He may come on occasionally as a guest, but that is our new promo for the show, and we're going to be rolling it out as you see. And Anthony will be coming on the show towards the end of February. Now, let's get to the news. Middle East. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group has made it to the Indian Ocean, according to CNN. That places the ships closer to Iran, which President Trump has threatened with attacks for repeatedly killing thousands of protesters, though they're not necessarily in a final position for any potential operation. On the flip side, Houthi rebels in Yemen and a parliamentary group in Iraq, both supported by Iran, indicated they could stage new attacks if the U.S. strikes Iran. As far as the Gaza Strip, Hamas is pushing to fold its 10,000-person strong police force into the planned Palestinian government of Gaza, the demand which Israel will likely strongly oppose. It comes as the militant group considers whether to give up its weapons, a requirement for Israeli troops to further withdraw from the territory under the U.S. brokered peace talk. Now, the heat is on President Trump's aggressive immigration and deportation strategy, and it is putting Empire State Democrats on the hot seat. In Washington, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer vowed Saturday that his caucus, this past Saturday, that his caucus will not provide votes to advance Homeland Security funding following the shooting deaths of Alex Preety by federal enforcement in Minnesota. It appears, though, that the U.S. Senate has worked out a deal with the president, and because the Congress won't meet until Monday, there'll be a 2-day shutdown unless Congress doesn't approve this. There's been a deal worked out between Schumer and the Republicans and the president to not shut down the government and to have the additional funding for Homeland Security for a little while. And this little patch will last till September. Then September comes, they'll be fighting again. In Albany, Democratic state lawmakers are plowing ahead with measures meant to put guardrails around agencies like the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, defying Trump's pledge to yank federal funding from states and cities that have sanctuary policies in place. Across New York, grassroots advocates are pressuring Democrats to take a bolder stance following the killing or risk electoral consequences. President Trump has sent border czar Tom Homan to take control of the Minnesota ICE situation. Now, as far as other news in Michigan rather, as far as news in Michigan, Republican Perry Johnson is launching another bid for governor of Michigan, and he's jumping in with a splash. Detroit News, Noah Finley reports that the businessman and former presidential contender plans to invest $9 million of his fortune over the next 2 months, including ads during the Super Bowl, with messaging focused on ending the state income tax and improving government efficiency, something we need here in New York. Now that current Michigan Governor Tim Walz has said he is not running for re-election, Democratic U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar has yesterday announced that she is now running to be the Democratic candidate for governor of Michigan. New York, though, is on track to lose 2 seats in the House of Representatives after the 23rd census and reapportionment, as population growth in several Democratic-leaning states lags far behind the rest of the country. Here in the Bronx, we once had over 1.4 million people, and we are under 1.4 million people. So we've lost almost about 250,000 people here in the Bronx. Queens Borough President Donovan Richards turned down Governor Hochul's proposal for lieutenant governor's job. Sources also confirmed that State Senator Jamal Bailey, the Bronx Democratic Party leader and chair of the Senate Democratic Conference, declined the governor's offer as well. Hochul's list of potential running mates now includes Walter Mosley, New York Secretary of State, Brian Cunningham, Brooklyn State Assemblyman, and it appears that Eric Gonzalez, who was on that short list, the Brooklyn District Attorney, has turned down the governor also. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado offered blunt advice for whoever takes the job next. If she makes any promises, get them in writing. Now, Kathy Hochul has proposed a $260 billion budget for the state, Senate, and Assembly to consider, amend, and adopt for New York's 2026-2027 fiscal year, touching on a whole range of activities and programs for state residents, parents and children, suburb riders, college students, adult students returning to college, cigarette quitters, farmers, and servers among those who could be impacted by the decisions the governor and state legislature makes. The budget is supposed to be adopted by April 1st, and here are some of the highlights of what it means to you under Hochul's proposed income tax rates frozen. Hochul refrained from suggesting any changes in the state income tax rates despite pressure from progressive Democrats like New York City Mayor Zohan Madami. No tax on tips. If you're a server, bartender, cab driver, or other service worker, there will be no taxes on tips up to $25,000 in tips per year under the governor's proposal. More help for childcare pre-kindergarten. If you need childcare pre-K, you will get a bigger, better tax credit to cover your costs, and your school district can get more money to expand available seats. One of the key proposals is to increase the state tax credit for children 4 to 16 years old from $330 to $500. There will be no college tuition hike. So if you're at a state university of New York 4-year college, your tuition is frozen. There's help to resume higher education, thinking of returning to school to get a degree through what's called the Opportunity Promise Scholarship. The state will waive your tuition if you attend a community college to pursue a first-time associate degree in high-demand occupations, which include nursing, teaching, cybersecurity, engineering, and green and renewable energy. Tariff help for certain farmers. If you're a livestock or dairy farmer and took a fiscal hit from the tariffs, you might get up to $3,000 in direct tariff and aid payments. Bigger tax on nicotine pouches. Trying to quit cigarettes by using nicotine patches, Hochul wants to apply the state's 75% excise tax, which is on cigarettes, to nicotine patches. This could mean $5 more on design, and you could see $375 add-on excise tax. More cops and barriers in the subways. Hochul said she would commit an additional $77 million to increase police presence on subways and platforms and trains by temporarily surging police patrol levels. The governor says the initiative helped push subway crime levels down low last year to the lowest levels in more than a decade. That's great. Everybody knows that. You put more cops out there, your crime will go down. Meanwhile, the state would continue to add platform barriers at stations. The barriers reduce the chance of someone falling or getting shoved onto the tracks. They've already installed 115 since 2024 and plan to add 85 more this year. Lastly, rent freeze for seniors in rent control. Seniors who live in rent-controlled apartments in the villages of Hempstead, Great Neck Plaza, City of Glen Cove, and Town of Hempstead, the 4 Nassau County municipalities that participate in low-income and senior program will see their rents frozen for the year. Gee, that's in her Republican opponent, Blakeman's Nassau County. Blakeman is the county leader in Nassau County. So, that's very coincidental of Governor Hochul. City Bike, by the way, for Kevin Diola, City Bike is raising its prices this month for the 5th year in a row, citing the continued expansion of the bike sharing program and the impact of recent tariffs. One would think if they're expanding the bike sharing program, the prices should be going down, right, Kevin? Any comment on that, Kevin? Mayor Zohan Madani said he will ask the state legislature to extend mayoral control of New York City public schools, reversing a campaign promise, the Daily News reported. Boy, while he was running for mayor, he says, I don't want mayoral control. We want to give it back to the schools. Now he wants it back. Governor Hochul also backs mayoral control. She is calling for a 4-year extension of mayoral control of New York City public schools. The move will serve as a boost to Mandami's efforts to retain control of the nation's largest school system, a reversal of his previous pledge, as I said. And it comes as conversations on mayoral control set to expire June 30th kick off. State lawmakers remain divided on the time frame and potential tweaks, but they previously told Playbook they anticipate less friction in this year's negotiations compared to past cycles, given Mandami's strong relationship in Albany. However, there is talk of only a 2-year extension. In the past, that's what they've done. They've given 2-year extensions. It is my belief as a former parent leader, all the way up to the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council, mayoral control has not worked. The increases in student performance would have come, if not better, as the years went on. It's been noted that city schools are still not meeting the state legislature's guidelines, and that's why little Johnny can't read. Let's go to the city council vetoing, I should say overriding mayoral vetoes. New York City Council Speaker Julie Menon said that the council overrode 17 vetoes yesterday, giving new life to a flurry of measures former Mayor Eric Adams sought to kill in the final hours of his tenure. But she's also letting 3 other of his vetoes stand. The vetoes that are standing will be one measure that won't become law is the Community Opportunity Purchase Act, also known as COPA or Intro 902B, which would have given certain nonprofits and local housing preservation groups the first chance to purchase distressed apartment buildings up for sale. Another bill that wasn't overridden is Intro 1433A, which would have required a minimum percentage of newly built affordable housing financed by the city to have 2 or 3 bedrooms. And the third bill, Intro 1451A, would have granted the Civilian Complaint Review Board direct access to body camera footage instead of getting it through the New York City Police Department. All except COPA passed last year with a veto-proof majority. While the bills passed the city council at the end of 2025, 8 new members took office in the new year who had not previously voted on the legislation. All were subject to furious lobbying over the past few weeks as they decided which bills they will be willing to override. Override vetoes need a 2/3 majority to pass or 34 votes in a 51-member council. A measure to raise the cap. Some of the vetoes that were overridden was a measure to raise the cap on street vendor licenses, another to prohibit immigration authorities from keeping an office on Rikers Island, and one seeking to ban the wrongful deactivation of for-hire vehicle service drivers are among the vetoes that the council overthrew. For the complete list of the 17 mayoral veto overrides, check my blog at www.100%.com. Pardon me, www.100%.blogspot.com for the under the title New York City Council votes to override vetoes from the former mayor in the archive section of the blog on the left side. And it looks like I am out of time. I had another piece of to talk about the DSA, which is Democratic Socialists of America. I will just say that the New York chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America announced that it is endorsing Daraliza Aviela Chavlier, a community organizer from Harlem, who is looking to unseat Representative or Congressman Adriano Espiat in the 13th Congressional District. Well, it looks like you're going to have a fight on your hands, Adriano. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Welcome back. See you next week right here on Talking Politics on Parrot TV. Thank you for watching.
Imagine a media platform that reshapes the conversation, empowers your voice, and redefines the Bronx community. Bronx Post, changing the reality, changing the narrative. For businesses, politicians, and government agencies, we offer targeted advertising solutions that drive results. Amplify your message. Reach the heart of the Bronx and beyond. Our platform connects you to the community. Learn more. Email info@bronxpost.com or call 718-892-5555. Visit www.bronxpost.com for breaking news and updates. Bronx Post, changing the reality, changing the narrative.
Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.